Okay, we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Plenty of things I want to get talking about tonight with everybody. I can see the comments popping off, so thanks so much for joining in with us, first and foremost, guys. So let's get talking about this. Now, it's not an individual news story. It's not anything that we can look at and individually say, yes, the club is turning against the manager. I think if we look at what has gone on in the past week, maybe longer, I think we can see the seeds are being sown to try turn the fan base against the manager. I think when we were looking at articles coming out from the Athletic, coming out and saying that managers' targets are not actually backed by the club, when we're actually seeing leaks upon leaks upon leaks coming out after a year of no leaks, I think it's fair to say that something else is going on at Manchester United Football Club. So I'm asking you guys in the poll tonight, what is the main problem at Manchester United? Because look, there's a lot of problems. A lot of problems wrong with this club. So many. And one thing I can categorically say, in my opinion, when we look at this, I don't think that sacking the manager is the right call here. I think a lot of people jump and say, yep, let's go get this manager. They're the guy who's going to turn it around. I think we thought that whenever we got rid of David Moyes, that the initial reaction was all United needed was a proper manager. We went and we got Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal was then cast away, and all we needed was a proper manager. We went and got Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was cast away. Then we went and got Ollie. And then Ollie was booted out the door. And then we brought in Ten Hag. It's been 10 years of saying it's the manager's fault. I think the problems go a lot deeper and a lot longer than just the manager. I think we've got to look above. I think we've got to look below as well. I don't think Erik Ten Hag is immune from criticism. I think he's got things wrong. But I think a lot of the problems have been here before he was a manager. And if we sacked him in the morning, they'll be here. But whoever comes in next, you can bring in De Zerbi, you can bring in whoever you want. I think the issues run a lot deeper. And I'm sure you guys agree with that as well. 16 votes in the poll. Most of you guys are going for the big one. I always say it's coming down to the Glazers. The guys who are in charge, the guys who own the entire club, they are ultimately responsible for everything that goes on. We've got loads of comments coming in. I'm going to go through some of these right now. We got Luman in the chat. Good to see you, man. Ashid is down there. Hope all is good. You're saying it's the Glazers and the board's doing. It's hard to disagree. It is the board. It is the Glazer family who are steering the ship, for want of a better word, at Manchester United. So I would agree with that one. Big T's in there as well. We will move on to the Ten Hag press conference very soon. Daniel's down there. More people think the manager's the problem than the board. Good thing it's only got 11 people. And Lucky Singh and Satwant are in the comments as well. Good to see you guys. Hope all's good. Lucky Singh, the fans need to fix up. There's issues with mentality and the character at the club. If we lose the manager, we would want relegation. I've had enough. If we lose the manager, we want relegation to the championship. Look, I'm going to say this first and foremost, guys. I think when we look at what is going on at Manchester United, yes, Erik Ten Hag has made mistakes. Yes, there are things he should have done that he didn't do, or things that he did do that he shouldn't have done. I think we can start this looking at the last match. I wouldn't have took Højlund off. I wouldn't have put Wan-Bissaka on with 10 minutes left. I mean, yeah, tactics have been wrong, but I don't think that excuses the lack of work, the lack of effort that we see from the players. And I don't think that's something really that he is able to control. He can't physically go onto the pitch and make Marcus Rashford run. He can't physically go onto the pitch and make Christian Eriksen run. Look, there's a lot of issues at this club, and I think that's the big thing. It is a complete mess. Big T's down there. A top quality chef can make an excellent dish with poor ingredients in a dilapidated kitchen run by unfit owners. Ten Hag has not got the tools required regardless of the owners. Look, I would agree with you as well there, Big T. Look, he definitely can do more, and he should be doing more in my opinion, but I think, just going back to that, a top quality chef, yes, absolutely can make a top dish with poor ingredients in a bad kitchen with bad owners and bad staff, doing the waiting duties and doing all that, absolutely. But I would also counteract that and say it's as much that Manchester United have the pressure from the outside that we have to win and we have to keep on going and we have to keep on being positive. I mean, I saw an article today from The Athletic. I'm actually doing a video. I've already recorded it. I'm going to work on it afterwards. Basically, they came out and said that things are looking very positive at Chelsea and they're not in a crisis. This is a team who's won one match all season, who's won about 5 matches all year, and has spent about £700 million this year. I mean, the differences in the reporting is so evident as well. Scott's down there. It's always the Glazers. We know this for a long time. Ten Hag didn't get the staff he wanted or the players. All four are the problem. The manager can at least give an encouraging lineup and stop being stubborn, stop the favoritism, and make the right subs, work and improve his tactics. Absolutely, he can. Lucky's down there. We want relegation if we lose Ten Hag. And as she said, apparently the Glazers blocked the Harry Kane transfer. Yes, that is true. Richard Arnold and the Glazer family blocked the Harry Kane issue, or the transfer, because first and foremost, they thought it wouldn't be value for money. And that's an issue in itself as well. But yeah, look, this unhappiness, it's going deep at Manchester United. First and foremost, this is coming in from Mike McGrath. Richard Arnold held an extraordinary meeting on Monday to address staff unhappiness over a variety of issues already this season, including the handling of Mason Greenwood and Anthony's situations. I think, honestly, Richard Arnold is a guy with a lot of blood on his hands already. Manchester United staff were told by Richard Arnold that summer recruitment will eventually be proved correct, and there is confidence in Erik Ten Hag. I mean, this club from top to bottom, it is a mess. We're seeing people within the club leaking that the manager, the only players that we've actually scouted are Højlund and Mount. That's a concern for me. That is a massive concern for me. First and foremost, your manager should be getting the players that he would like, yes, but that also has to be balanced. There's clearly no guts and no backbone in that boardroom. I think John Murda, a massive problem for a long time. I think Richard Arnold is a huge problem. Look, I think all of the four things I've listed there, the Glazer family, the players, the manager, the board, all are accountable. They all have to do better. I think Erik Ten Hag has been given a rough deal because he finds himself with a group of players who quit after going a goal down, and a board and owners above him who don't care too much about the results on the pitch will throw a manager under a bus like they have done in the last 10 years. We've had 5 managers, and that's what it's coming down to. And the only guy who ever walked into the club who sold it how it was in Ralf Rangnick, they sacked him as well. So look, there's big issues in my problem, absolutely. If Ten Hag can't take the pressure, he's at the wrong club. I think he can take the pressure, man. I've no problem with that at all. I think it's just he's being let down by what's above him as well. It's like in work, there are people who would... It's like if you're a middle manager in work, you have people above you and you have people below you. If the people below don't work, that ultimately will be your responsibility. But if the people above you are steering the business and the organization off a cliff, that is also not really your fault. Those are calls you cannot influence as well. Lucky's down there as well. If we lose a manager, I want relegations. I cannot take any more of this club, man. From top to bottom, this club is a mess. Make no mistake about it, Lucky. So look, I'm going to go through some of what Ten Hag's been saying in the press conference. But just first and foremost, because I can see Scott had mentioned it, we briefly touched on it as well. Joel Glazer and Richard Arnold decided not to go for Harry Kane as it was not a reasonable use of resources when factoring in his age. I mean, look, that's disappointing in itself. I always said all summer I thought Harry Kane would be a brilliant signing for United, would guarantee us gold. Scott saying I heard 5 players, all named, fell out just a few days ago. Too many personalities in there is actually depressing at the club. Absolutely, man. It's genuinely it is sometimes hard to be a Manchester United fan, and this certainly is one of those times. So look, I want to go through what Ten Hag's been saying in the press conference. We'll have a look at the Bayern Munich match tomorrow. So Ten Hag speaking first and foremost on Harry Maguire. So Harry Maguire has had some complaints. We have to see how bad it is. He did finish training, but he was not ready to travel. So Maguire is out of tomorrow's match. He will not be featuring against Bayern Munich. I'm sure a lot of you guys are happy with that. What have we got? 20 votes on the poll as well, by the way. 75% are going for the Glazer family. We have 5% going for the board, 10% for players, and for manager. Look, I think that's a fair reflection. I think in all fairness, I probably could have lumped the board and the Glazers into one, because the board are just an extension of the Glazer family's will, of their ideas, and of their demands in most regards. Let me just double check. So Ten Hag talking again about injuries. So of course it's a concern. That's why we've had to add to the squad with depth. Hopefully the squad can deal with it. That doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. Ten Hag as well, of course, asked about Harry Kane. Says, we are happy with Rasmus, Obviously, the first game he was injured. He played against Arsenal and Brighton. He's a big talent and he will continue to contribute to our game. We are confident about that. Look, I've no problem with Rasmus Højlund. I would have liked two strikers. I think it's a lot of pressure to put on a young guy's shoulders to be the main guy at Manchester United. But let's find out what Rasmus Højlund is made about. I think he's done a lot in his first start. Really should have had a goal in my opinion, but I think there's a lot from Højlund that's positive. So I want to see what he can do as well on that one. Look, as well as that, we've an issue here with Andre Onana. And look, this comes down to the press. This comes down to the knives well and truly being out for Manchester United. And I've said this for a long time. Manchester United, fundamentally, we get clicks, we get more news, we get more updates, we sell more newspapers, we get more videos than any other club. And whenever we see stuff like this come out, Daz is down there, absolute mugs for the owners, absolutely, man. Completely agree. But yeah, look, we're talking about Andre Onana. Look, we're still somehow going on about the Harry Maguire situation. I think a lot of this is the player agent led. I think certainly has very, very good relationships within the English media, because the English media have watched how Maguire has played for the last 2 or 3 years, and they still insist that he has to play every match for Manchester United. They still think he should be the starting guy. Who is Erik Ten Hag to come in and not pick Harry Maguire? That is the question being asked. And look, we're seeing stuff come out like Maguire had to play tomorrow because he knows Harry Kane better than anybody else. By the same logic, we should get Harry Kane's wife to play centre half tomorrow. Like, this is the sort of stuff we're getting. But an ongoing issue has been Onana, and it's been Harry Maguire. So, look, Andre Onana, first and foremost, spoke and said, I'm a passionate player. I demand a lot from my defenders and from my defenders, but we all will work together. Big T's done there. The Glazers are at fault for what's wrong with the club. Ten Hag is at fault for what's going on the pitch. He has to know his players' limits and find the best way to play with those limits. I think that's a fair assessment. Absolutely. I do think that's a fair assessment of the situation. Onana again asked about the Maguire incident in pre-season. This is how you know things are getting ridiculous when we're still talking about this. But Harry is a good guy. I have a great relationship with him. We are big guys, and it happens on the pitch. And what happens says on the pitch. We still have a good relationship. So look, there's no issue there. Air fans in the comments saying Bayern Munich are too good. Yeah, look, they're probably going to beat us tomorrow. It's probably going to happen. Big T, if they're not up for playing, the management is all wrong. I mean, yeah, look, it's a good... That's fair enough. But this is the same group of players who quit under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The same group of players who quit under Jose Mourinho. This is nothing new with this set of players. I don't think that's too much of a thing to say, really, is that these guys are quitters, fundamentally. A lot of them are, and we've seen it time and time again. When we go a goal down, we end up getting beat badly. And it's been that way for several seasons. It's been a massive issue. And look, of course, we can point back last season, 7-0 at Anfield, 6-3 at City, 4-0 to Brentford. But before that, we shipped 6 goals at Old Trafford to Tottenham Hotspur. We were absolutely smashed by Liverpool and by City the season before that as well. So, look, it's an ongoing thing with these players. I think massive changes are needed at this club, and I don't think the players are immune. I think everybody should be under scrutiny. Everybody should have to perform in their job. It's a simple thing. The management will look good when the players try hard and play well. The players will look good when the management gets more out of them. I think it's got to go both ways, but I think the players are letting down the management as much as the management might be letting the players down. I really do. Scott saying, I love how you shout out normal comments, my dude. Not a lot of channels, including United Stand, actually do that. They charge money to keep up the good work and get the likes. And yeah, guys, look, we're a small channel, and we'll always shout out you guys' comments, because that's what it's all about. As I always say, look, you guys are very kindly giving me time out of your day to sit and listen to me talk about football. So least I can do is shout you guys out as well. Ronnie's done there. We can play from the back tomorrow night. We may come away with a draw. I think it's as much of a problem with the chasing back, the tracking back, the pressing and stuff. That's an issue we can't seem to get over as well. Hopefully we find a solution tomorrow. Hopefully we can. Big T's done there. If your first team but don't start the first team, start the players who will give it all for the 90 minutes. Yeah, look, that's what we want to see as well. Absolutely. And I think changes are needed. Changes definitely need to be made. Subs, some players drop. Nobody should be untouchable. Absolutely. But I think when we look at the players on the bench, I don't back them to put in any more effort. I really don't. I mean, look, we know the issues with Harry Maguire. We're never getting any sort of effort out of Martial. Donny van de Beek has no ambition as a footballer, because if he did, he would have left in the summer. We have, what, like Christian Eriksen maybe on the bench at 31. He's not going to get the sort of running stuff as well. So I think it's a personnel issue as well as it is a management thing. I think top to bottom, this club is in a bad position right now. I think Erik Ten Hag needs to be brave. He needs to make the big calls. We've seen it last year. He's not afraid to do it, so he has to do it. For a manager to get rid of Cristiano Ronaldo, completely unheard of until that point in Ronaldo's career, it has to be done. So you can make the big calls, stand up and make them. That's what I would say to Erik Ten Hag. Don't be afraid to drop Marcus Rashford. Don't be afraid to leave Bruno Fernandes out of the team. Don't be afraid to say, Sandro Martinez, you've been really poor defensively so far this season. I'm going to drop you for this match. Don't be afraid to do that. But at the same time, Marcus Rashford has to make a 5-yard sprint to close the ball down. At the same time, he has to track back and help out the defence. At the same time, Casemiro needs to not jump into tackles when he's the last man in midfield. You know, those are things that we can't control as well. Both sides need to do better, in my opinion. Ashid's son there saying the Glazers will go eventually. I really hope so, man. I think just as a club, as a fan base, as people who love football and love this club, because that's what we all are. Well, as much as they annoy us and they infuriate us and they anger us and they make us annoyed, we do love this club. And I will say categorically, the biggest lift we could get right now as a fan base would be the Glazer family leaving. Absolutely. Big T says we're getting beat anyway. Start the youth team can't be any worse, and I bet they will fight for 90 minutes. They probably will. They probably will. I don't see us winning tomorrow. I really, really don't, guys. Who else have we got down there? Glazers must sell the club so we can be a better team again. I would agree with that. I think it comes from the top and it comes down. I think when we're paying these guys $350,000 a week and they're calling out the manager on Twitter instead of turning up in training, I think that is an issue at this club. Like, that is something we need to fix. That is something that needs corrected. And Lucky reckons we're getting relegated. I don't know if it's going to be that bad, Lucky. It might not be pretty. I think it's going to be a long way back. This team need to do something really, really big in order to change that. But we're going to find out what this team's made of. I just don't think they're made of a lot. I just don't think they're going to stand up and be counted when it matters. And that's my problem. And yeah, look, it's easy to throw the manager under the bus. It's very easy to blame the manager. And if they sack Ten Hag, all of a sudden they'll be running harder, they'll be working harder under the new manager. And that's probably the way it might go. And then in 12 months' time, it will be the exact same scenario where we have the manager not able to get anything out of the players who've just stopped running for him. And we're caught in a cycle of this. We really, really are. And it's not like Chelsea, whereas Chelsea might go and buy a whole new team to give to a manager. We're still stuck with the same players as well. So they gotta get serious from top to bottom of this football club. Drop a like on the video, guys. We're up to 18 likes on the poll, 36 votes as well. We have 75% saying the Glazers are the main problem. We have 14% saying the manager, 3% going for the board, and we have 8% going for the players. So I think we can really say all of them. If I could have added another option, I would have said everything, because it genuinely does feel like that. But it's one of these things, and we can't unfortunately do that there. Irfan says Manchester United are broken. I don't think we're broken. I just seriously think this screams of a team trying to take off, of a car trying to go, but the handbrake's on. And who put the handbrake on, or who's holding on to it? I think that's what we got to be asking. Big T says we're not going to get back to greatness. That is long gone. We're aiming we're going to have to rebuild greatness again until a complete overhaul of the players and the staff. We'll be lucky to be mid-table. Liman says those are criticising the manager and asking questions of Ten Hag, or not Ten Hag out, as even Man City fans have criticised Pep when he does mistakes. Absolutely. I think we can criticise Ten Hag. I have a lot of problems with him. Like, there are things that he does nearly every match that I just don't get. And I think he should be doing better. I don't think he should have took Hoyland off the weekends. I don't think he should have put Martial on. I don't think there was any reason when we were 3-1 down to put Wan-Bissaka on for a left back. That just made no sense. The subs don't make sense. Maybe we're trying to play a style of football beyond these players. Maybe we need to be more pragmatic. Maybe that's what we need to look at. I think he's absolutely not immune from criticism, and I would definitely say that. I'm not trying to sit here and defend Erik Ten Hag to the death. I think he's made mistakes, and he will continue to make mistakes. I even think some of the players he's wanted haven't been big hits. A lot of them maybe we shouldn't have signed. Maybe Anthony, maybe Mason Mount. Maybe that's how it's going to work out. Maybe even Casemiro. Maybe he's just going to be too old, too past it. Maybe he's not going to have the legs to do it long term. I think Ten Hag definitely has criticisms that he needs to take, but I don't think there's any other top level club, a club of this magnitude, where he walks in off the door to the problems that he had initially, to a takeover that might happen, might not happen, and is destabilizing the club. I think he's worked into a very toxic dressing room. I think he's got a lot of things right. I think he's got some things wrong. And ultimately, it's going to be how he addresses the situation he finds himself in. Because, look, in an ideal world, he finds himself walking in to a dressing room full of players ready to work hard, ready to play hard, and an ownership who want to give him the backing to go out and get the players he needs, with a scouting department and a director of football saying, yeah, look at these brilliant young players. You can have X, Y, and Z, and in 2 to 3 years, they're going to be world beaters. But he hasn't. He has walked into a mess. Look, he needs to do better on his own regards. I'm sure he would agree himself that there is more he can do, that there is more he should do. I just think whenever we look at it both ways, I think there's a lot of improvement needed at this club, a lot of work, and I don't think that a change in the manager is going to solve anything. I think you can bring Pep Guardiola into this club and it would have no effect whatsoever, because he would ask for certain players, he wouldn't be given them. He would ask for the players on the pitch to work harder. They wouldn't do it. He would want to move some players on, and he would be told, no, we can't move Maguire on. He's on 250,000 a week. We can't move Sancho on. He's on 350,000 a week, and we paid 75 million for him. You have to play him. You have to make it work. That's the issue here. I think when we see directors, the CEO and the owner, in Joel Glazer, not going after a top target, who we did want. We clearly wanted Harry Kane for a long, long time, due to age issues. I think issues. I think it goes from top to bottom. I really do. Ten Hag needs to improve himself. The players, I feel like the players have got away quite lightly with this so far, but I do feel like there's so much issues on that pitch with these players who just haven't performed in a long, long time. They really haven't. The effort levels have dropped notably, probably from February. I think Carabao Cup seems to be where the downfall in form came from, where the downfall in the effort levels came from. I don't think there's a lot of good performances towards the end of last season. We limped over the finishing line, and the players have got to do a lot better. Who else have we got in the comments? We got Irfan down there. 6 players in the transfer market: Nicola Barella, Ibrahim Sangara. I think he's gone to Forest. Kudus, Inistapan, Anthony Silva, Lautaro Martinez, and Victor Osimhen. Look, a lot of those players would definitely help us, of course. Lucky's down there as well, saying there are character and mentality. Yeah, look, the mentality, it just isn't there. The characters are not there. That's a big issue for me. Irfan says, like to go down, Qatar in. United will go down and Qatar will go. Qatar is not a guaranteed fix. Look at Chelsea. How much money and how many new players, and they're worse than us. Sean, it's a bit weird to go outside my house, mate, can't lie. Let's see. Qatar, no, yeah, look, Qatar's not a guaranteed fix. Throwing money doesn't mean anything. You can waste money. Manchester United have spent over £1 billion on this team, and our midfield that we start with week in, week out at the minute, One of them is 31, 32. The other one is like 31 in Ericsson. And there's questions over how long Ericsson can actually play due to his heart issue. Um, a club that has been run properly would not have spent £1 billion and finished up at the Emirates playing a centre back partnership of Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. Like top to bottom, like that's just simple. Throwing money doesn't fix the problems, but if you can spend that money properly and know what you're doing with it, you could have had a lot of success. You really, really could have. And I think City's a prime example of that. Yes, City spends a lot of money, but how many of City's players and their signings are flops? Very little. Very, very little, because they're scouted. They work on it. They look at who's going to be the best player in that position. Absolutely. Let's see. Tomorrow, Rashford out. Must not be so selfish that we can score some more goals. Look, Rashford does need to get his head up. Rashford had 9 shots against Brighton, and I don't know if he hit the target. I think he hit the post, but that was about it. Big T says Qatar are money people. They're not football people. Absolutely. I think if you're Sheikh Jassim and you buy Manchester United, let's say hypothetically a sale goes in, he manages to buy this club. I think the first thing he should do is go around and headhunt and bring in the best in class of for CEO, the best in class for director of football, for scouts, for everything. Like, if you're not a football person, that's what you got to do. Sheikh Mansour at Manchester City is not a footballing person, but that's what he did. He went and brought in the very best available to run the club for him. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. If you're a business person, it's the same as that. If you don't want to actively manage your business, you bring in the best business directors, the best CEOs, the best marketers, the best sales, and that you take it from there. Scott's down there. I think the Glazers are most to blame, but looking at the mistakes Richard Arnold has made with wages and length of contracts, that we end up not getting Cowboys at United. Yeah, look, we can't afford Cowboys coming in and running this club either. Like, we really, really can't. You want things done properly. I think Arnold's the perfect example. It's just nepotism. Richard Arnold rode in on the coattails of Ed Woodward, who, of course, was brought in to run Manchester United because he helped the Glazers buy us with some debt, with a loan. So that's what it's coming down to. Rajat, good to see you, man. Hope all's good. Chrissy's in the comments as well. Can't really wave at Sean, man. I'll have to, get up and walk over there. I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, guys, 43 votes on the poll, by the way, 74% going for the Glazer family. I think, yeah, look, board is quite low, but I think the board can be kind of put into the same category of the Glazers because they are just yes man. Big up, Big T United will be all right with Qatari money. Look, we might be, but it's about how you spend the money as well. I think that's important. Let's hope that if they buy the club, they're not going to waste their money and they're going to be smart with it and say, yeah, look, let's go get Paul Mitchell. Let's go get Ocampo. Let's go get the best in Scotland. Like, maybe we just go with £100 billion and buy Brighton's scouting department. Maybe that's what we do. But look, a lot of improvement can be done at this club. From top to bottom, make no mistake about it. And look, manager's definitely not immune from that criticism. So look, we want to get on to the other story tonight. We're going to get talking about Manchester United going out against Bayern Munich tomorrow. It might not be pretty, guys. And look, I think we can say this with confidence that it's highly likely we might get beat tomorrow as well. I wouldn't feel confident at all going into this one. It's going to be a big one. We do have a small bit of transfer news as well coming in for you guys. So this is Manchester United are amongst the clubs scouting Club Brugge winger Antonio Nusa. While it's at the early stages, Club Brugge's Nusa is under consideration for a wide player signing at Manchester United. Liman is down there. Oh, just in there, just talking to Rajat as well. And Lucky says if Sheikh Jassim can buy, he will need to look for football people. Yeah, he will. And if he's a smart guy, that's what he would do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Quick update coming in as well, talking about Jadon Sancho, so you guys be happy with this one. Borussia Dortmund have ruled themselves out of the race to sign Sancho as they are not interested in re-signing him. Lincoln's down there, we need new owners sooner rather than later. Yeah, look, that's something as well. We saw an interesting story come out from Fabrizio Romano, I think it was yesterday, talking about the ownership stuff. He was saying the takeover is going on, it's still progressing, but it's secretive, it's very, very behind closed doors. I don't know what's going to happen there. Look, Big T's saying we're going to get smashed big time. Scott's going for a 3-0 defeat. It might not be pretty, guys. It really might not be. Just in terms of the Bayern Munich team, Joshua Kimmich is a doubt for tomorrow with a tendon injury. Manuel Neuer, Kingsley Coman and Rafael Guerreiro will miss the game as well. I think there was talks about Alphonso Davies maybe missing out as well. Not seeing him in there. Look, yeah, Scott, look, it's hard, man. I want to say United's going to win every match. Like, I really do, because I want to be optimistic. I want to try convince myself as well that things are all good at this club, but sometimes we got to be realistic. I would be, if we get a draw, I would be really, really happy. If we get anything out of tomorrow's match, I would be delighted with that. I really, really would be. So yeah, look, quick look at the travelling squad for tomorrow, because it has been confirmed as well. So Bayern Dare, Tom Heaton, Onana and Vitek will be going in goals. Victor Lindelof, Martinez, Reguilon, Delot and Johnny Evans. Very little defenders. Very, very little defenders. No Harry Maguire in there, of course. No Raphael Varane either. Wan-Bissaka is out. Malacia is out. Luke Shaw is out. So all of a sudden that backup left back emergency loan signing doesn't look too bad a deal. Luman saying there, do I think Ten Hag could win back the fans tomorrow by dropping Rashford, starting Garnacho, Pellistri and Hannibal? Look, I don't think he's got to win back the fan base. I think it would be a case that I would be absolutely stunned if he doesn't play Rashford tomorrow. There was talk came out earlier today, and they said basically that we're looking at a different role for Rashford tomorrow in a different position. I don't know what that's going to mean. He's been playing in the left. He's been playing through the middle. Maybe he plays on the right, and we go Garnacho and Højlund. We try to hit them on the counter attack. Maybe that's the option we go for. I don't know. Barcelona has been offered to Sancho. Big says the worst thing we can do is win. It will give many false hope. A win in the Champions League does not fix Premier League season. Absolutely not as well. We need to see the back of the poor board we have who are not football people. Absolutely. Ashid says some sources, namely Bloomberg, Reuters, say that Qatar will win the race to buy the club around November. I did see those reports. I would say that we should be seeing some sort of a progress in this takeover deal at long last. It's been a long time, because I remember very, very confidently sitting here in June saying that the takeover must be near complete if Bloomberg and Reuters and the big financial institutions are talking about it almost being a done deal. I think it's the brakes have been put on this deal by the Glazer family, by the Rain Group. I think that's nothing controversial to say. I don't think that's anything new as well. But I think if the Glazers go, I think if we get rid of them, I think that's a massive, massive boost. And look, it might not help us on the pitch, but I think as a club and as a fan base, I think that gives us the hope that we need at the minute. Because I think a lot of us, whether we are backing Ten Hag, whether we think Ten Hag's not going to be the guy, I think a lot of us just know that sacking Ten Hag's not going to change a lot. It might change the form on the pitch for 6 months, but that's about it. I could not sit here in good confidence, in good faith, and tell you guys, yeah, look, if we sack Ten Hag and bring in De Zerbi, that all of a sudden all our problems will go away. Because it won't. He'll just find himself with the same problems as Ten Hag did, as Solskjaer did, as Rangnick did, as Mourinho did, as Van Gaal did, as Moyes did. Even Ferguson, towards the end of his United career, had the same issues. Big T's down there. If winner is declared in November, that's just the start of the progress. Could take up to another 12 months to go through. Absolutely, it could. It will be a long progress. Sorry, I was getting caught between the two words there. So yeah, look, it will be a long progress. Make no mistake about it, because even if it does happen in November and it's agreed, then by the time the funds are transferred, it might not be done by the new year. And then you're losing out on a January transfer window. and then you're moving on to the rest of the season. So it might well be that you could be looking at fit and proper ownership tests, all the paperwork, all the litigation, because buying a public company off the stock market and taking it as a private thing is a much, much bigger, a much lengthier progress. And I know we can point towards Chelsea, but Chelsea was a private company. It's like selling a private piece of property. If we had Sheikh Tassim coming in, he would have to agree a fee and a price for United shareholders on the stock exchange. All that stuff would need to be worked out. It could be a long, long process. Make no mistake about it. So yeah, look, we're gonna be talking Takeover for a long, long time. Hopefully, we have some more news on it, though. I think we need it. I really do. I think we need it. I think we deserve it as a fan base. Lucky's down there. We lost 5 games. I would be putting in the resignation tonight. Burnley will smash this if we don't get at least a draw tomorrow, says Scott. I mean, look, the way United go, we might win tomorrow and then get smashed with Burnley anyway. Or maybe we just get smashed in general in both matches. I think it will be an absolute shock if we don't beat Burnley. I really, really do. Lucky's down there. Avram saying Avram resigned tonight immediately. Brighton, Arsenal, and Luton Town. I mean, look, I don't think the Glazer family is going anywhere in a hurry. Make no mistake about that. I wish I could sit here and say, yeah, look, they're going to go, but I don't think we can really pressure these guys into it. These guys are thick-skinned. They don't listen to the criticism. Lincoln's down there as well. We should be playing possession football like big clubs do and boss games by being a good passing team more creatively. Yeah, look, we should be, and I think that we've got the manager who wants to do that. But again, I think it's coming down to the players. You play a possession-based football, you have to be willing to pass it to each other. Marcus Rashford took 9 shots against Brighton. 9 shots, and I think that's an issue in and itself. I really, really do. Who else has done in the comment? Lucky saying if we lose 5 games, we lose people. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in below. Keep voting on the poll as well. 48 votes on that. 77% are saying it's the Glazers are the main issue at Manchester United. I'm glad about that. I'm happy most people acknowledge that it is coming from the top down. We have 8% for the players, 4% for the board, and 10% going for the manager as well. Scott's in there as well saying, don't say that, I'll cry. Don't forget as well, guys, we're getting really, really close to 2,000 subscribers on the channel. So if you guys are new and you haven't hit that sub button, make sure to smash that button as well. What we need, 16. We are on 1984, guys, so only 16 people will be absolutely fantastic if we can achieve that. Hopefully we'll get it pretty soon as well. I think YouTube's a little bit messed up as well. I was looking at some of the numbers. United People's TV down like 50%, United Stand down 60%, Paddock down 45-50%. So it's definitely a football content creator issue as well. Let me see, Big T saying the Glazers are masters of survival. I would want them on a plane with me, and if it went down, get deserted on an island. They probably would survive. Don't worry, Big T man. But I mean, they might eat you in the process. They are those type of guys as well. Liman says if the club deteriorates further and further on the pitch, the Glazers will go. I think the only thing is going to get those guys out, it's going to be the money stuff. I think that's the big issue. I think it's absolutely no coincidence whatsoever from top to bottom that Manchester United, all of a sudden, there was more talk about the takeover, about the direction of the takeover, after we went out and lost 500, 600 million in one day after a negative article came out about the Glazers actually selling. So I think that's got to be considered as well. It's going to come down to money as much as anything. And look, United's we are not as profitable as we once were. We're not bringing in that caliber of money. Now, look, we can point towards the Adidas deal, the big shirt sponsor deal, but fundamentally, this club is being run in such a way that it's hemorrhaging money as well. And there's a lot of big costs coming up for this club as well. We're talking stadiums, we're talking training facilities. We're probably looking at half of a new team. That's probably what we're looking at. Ralph Rangnick, of course, ridiculed when he said this club needed open heart surgery and a lot of new players. We didn't get it then. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in. We'll go through any comments as well. Big T, don't be surprised if lots of fans are staying off YouTube because of recent results. Absolutely not, man. Look, it's one of those things. I try to build the content and everything off what I actually think, of my own opinion, and of your guys' opinion. I don't want to sit here and scream into the mic and like bang the desk and be all angry, because that's not really who I am. But I mean, I'm sure people doing that will be doing just fine right now. I try to keep stuff more positive, but I do have a pretty angry video coming up tomorrow by my standards. Don't worry, I'm not going to smash up my desk and stuff. I need this for work as well. So but yeah, look, that's going to be coming out hopefully tomorrow or Thursday at the very, very latest. Um who else we got in the comments? Lucky's done there. We lose any more, the time the stock price will crash. Look, if I don't think the stock price really matters too much in terms of the results. I think maybe outside of Champions League qualification, that's probably about it, but not really too much of an indicator of a lot of things. Look, stocks are very, very volatile commodities. I think anybody who does finance and stuff, or has even looked really at the takeover deal as a whole, the stock's gone up 20% because of a good article from Bloomberg, and then we get a bad one from Reuters the next week and we lose 500 million. Like, I think it's as much people overreacting, trying to do, there's a lot of guesswork in it. Look, obviously there's the inside stuff as well, but a lot of it is guesswork as well. Interesting quote coming out from Onana on African Cup of Nations tonight as well. So he says, if I'm called up, we will see. I don't know if I will be. Let's find out what will happen in the next month. Wasim is down there, please. I don't know if I can read that out, but I'm sure a lot of people agree with you. I don't know if I can read that out. I might get banned. Well, we got 51 votes on the poll as well tonight. 75% saying the Glazers are the biggest issue at this club. We have 6% going for the board, 10% for players, and the manager apart. Liman, what made you more angry? Ten Hag, Stefan, Højlund, or Martial, or Rashford's greediness? I think it's a mixture. It is a mixture, Liman, because Rashford's greediness and unwillingness to pass seemingly in that match was more of an issue that it was infuriating because it was happening over and over and over and over and over again. Ten Hag taking Højlund off to put Martial on. Look, I guess he can spin the story. It might be true that he's not fit enough to play a full 90 yet, but I think if you put Garnacho on for Højlund, I don't think people would have complained as much. I think it's more it's Martial coming on as well. Big T's down there and starting to think financial industry are manipulating the share price with the articles. Look, there's money to be made. Not one. As well. I don't think we've got a mod in here as well either. Liman, just on that comment of yours. I think Daniel's done as a mod. I think I might have put a couple of other people done as well. Let me just see if I can. Oh wait, there is a mod. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the mod just there we go. Daniel actually just took that down. Big ups, Daniel. Thank you very much, man. Let me double check as well. We'll have a look at some of the other stuff coming out tonight. An interesting one coming in from Ten Hag, and this is going to go down to what Luman was saying as well. Ten Hag on whether Rashford can help Rasmus Højlund. Absolutely. I know the two can benefit from each other, but they have to get to know each other, and that process has just started. I'm sure they will get a connection. I think it's going to be a long time. It will be a long time. Big T, by the way, you're all right as well. As somebody who does work in the finance stuff, there is a lot of kind of manipulation. It's done through the news and it's done through the media because they actively can't come out to say it because of the laws and stuff and the financial rules. Basically, we can't manipulate the stock price. Can't really be doing nefarious practices to line your own pockets. But yeah, look, it is one of those things. It's like if someone had done that, what they might do is when the stock's really low, buy loads of it now, and then all of a sudden, if the takeover happens, they're gonna make a lot of money off that one, So that's kind of how it works. Lucky says financials are failing in the broken stadium. And Wasim as well is saying only God can save United now. It's going to take something. It might take a miracle. I think it's going to take the Glazers going. I make no mistake about it. If Joel and Avram go in the morning, if Sheikh Sim comes in the morning with billions upon billions to spend in this club, it's going to take a while for things to turn around. It will. The Saudi Arabians bought Newcastle and they almost got relegated. They were very, very close to being relegated. And I mean, the money doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be successful. But it's over a long period of time. It's going to let you buy the best players. It's going to let you compete for that. It's going to let you have attractive stadium, an attractive training facility, and that as well is going to help so much for Manchester United. I think if I'm Radcliffe, if I'm Sheikh Jassim, it doesn't matter who I am. If I take over this club, I want to get the best guys running it, the best guys in the industry. Absolutely. Lucky's down there. One after another, 1.2 billion debt. Yeah, as well, guys. Any more thoughts? Make sure you get them in down below. 57 votes on the poll. We have 75%, so 3/4 of you guys are acknowledging the Glazer family as the biggest issue at Manchester United. 11% are saying the players, 9% going for the manager, and 5% going for the board. Look, I will say this as well. I've seen a lot of people saying, what are United fans going to blame failures on when the Glazers go? I think if we have an ambitious owner and the manager fails, then you can take the manager out and it might make a difference. I think if you've got a broken down team that is too old, then you bring in some young players. If you got a team that doesn't want to work, you get rid of them, you bring in some players who want to be here. That's what you got to do as well. I don't think we got the power to do that at the minute, unfortunately. Big ups as well, guys. We're up to 20 likes. Can we get up to 25? I think, well, there's 36 people in here, so drop a like on the video as well, guys. If you guys haven't already, and if you are new, please consider hitting that sub button. We're getting really close to that 2,000 subscriber landmark. We're on 1,984. I'm gonna start putting it up in the corner as well, so we're getting close. Don't worry, guys, as well. So thanks so much for hopping on in here. Jeremy's down there. We'll walk into Bayern tomorrow, like Brazil against Germany in the World Cup, at 7-1 incoming. Maybe it's gonna be for us. Maybe, I don't know. I would be shocked. I would be surprised. I would be stunned if Manchester United get a win tomorrow. I don't think a draw is a bad one. Liman's down there about Harry Kane's. Thankfully, he didn't join the club after this mess. Harry Kane's probably looking as well. He's probably thinking, I'm 30 years old. Yeah, United put out an article saying there wasn't financial long-term sense in buying Harry Kane, but he's probably thinking it's going to take 2 or 3 years for this club to be able to win a big trophy. So maybe it's a good thing that I didn't go then. Big T as well. Ten Hag potentially auditioning to owners. He needs to pull his socks up. He probably does. I think no matter what, I think new ownership will want to come in and have a look at him under a better environment. We did see that initially reported about Sheikh Jassim and the Qatari bid. They wanted a 100-day grace period for all current members of staff, both playing and the management, the board, the facilities, the scouts, directors, all that. They wanted a 100-day grace period to review them, to look at their work across that period with a new environment and see how they do. So maybe I don't know, it'll be interesting to find out what happens. Lucky says all clubs need to work on mentality and putting in the effort to win. Absolutely. I think that's something we can definitely say about the top teams at the minute. There is so much competition, but it's the same clubs winning over and over again, and it's because of the drive. It's because of the mentality. It's as much that as anything. It really is, guys. 59 votes on the poll as well, so thanks very much for voting on that one. Gonna have a quick check as well, because sometimes we get some stuff coming out kind of between 8 o'clock and 8:30 p.m. Although it might be a bit quiet tonight with the Champions League, of course. AC Milan 0-0 with Newcastle. Newcastle with 1 shot on target all match. But I mean, they got the point, and that's what they'll be happy about as well. Let me just double check a couple more things. João Felix has scored for Barcelona in that one. Big T says we've still got Wally with a Brawley. Yep. Steve McLaren still here, of course. I'm sure all England fans fondly remember Steve McLaren as well. 60 votes on the poll as well. Thank you very much for that one, guys. Keep dropping the likes on the video. I think we're up to 22. 22 likes as well. Thank you very much for that one, guys. Lucky is down there. Chelsea is another one that's in trouble. Yeah, look, Chelsea are a completely different kind of trouble. They're going to get in massive financial problems, make no mistake about it. But what we can say as well, look at the difference in the reporting, Lucky. When we see the Athletic saying that Chelsea are not in a crisis after winning 1 match all season and winning less than 10 matches in the last 12 months, I think I think that shows you the difference in reporting as well. It's easy to fall into the trap of what the articles and the press and the media, Sky Sports, BT, Talk Sport, all those guys are saying. Is very, very easy to fall into that trap. Absolutely. Um, let's be real, Ten Hag had no credentials. He was decent at Ajax. Maybe we overexpected him as we were desperate for a saver. No, I don't think that's really a fair assumption to make. I think we had an up-and-coming manager. We still do. Who had done very well at Ajax, winning the Eredivisie, had some good Champions League runs. I think he was a better option than Mauricio Pochettino still. I really, really do. Because I think those are the options we had. I think we still ended up with the best manager. Jeremy says at least Chelsea fans know. Sorry, at least Chelsea know how to sell Deadwood. Yeah, look, it's very easy when you're selling it to yourself. If you guys know, you know. With the Chelsea situation, but look, it's definitely easier for them as well because they're not paying the likes of. They wouldn't be paying Donny van de Beek 150,000 a week. They wouldn't be paying Sancho 350,000 per week as well. Big T says difference is Chelsea fans don't blame everything on the owners. Our negativities fuel the press. Yeah, look, Chelsea have had a good relationship with their owner. They really have. I think it's one thing we can definitely say is Bowley does want to win with Chelsea. Abramovich always wanted to win from Chelsea as well. Did they go about it in the right way? Probably not. Did they just spend a lot of money? Yeah, was a lot of it wasted? Probably, but they still got results. I don't think those guys want to get. I genuinely don't think the Glazers care about winning. They really don't. Scott says, "I'll get the likes for you, bro, when I get my mates on and hear off the crappy United stand." Love it. Yeah, big ups as well, guys. Thanks very much for choosing me tonight. So with that in mind, guys, I'm gonna drop off here, and the video hopefully should be up tomorrow. If not, it will be up on Thursday, of course. So have a good one, guys. Hopefully tomorrow night is not too bad in terms of the Bayern Munich match. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one, and hopefully next time we're talking, we'll all be feeling a little bit better about Manchester United. Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll find out. Big ups, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And I'll catch you all in the next one.